Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Regulator60 here, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, simply fantastic. And I'm bringing to you another NPL Miners coach interview, and I am joined by Tone. Tone, why don't you go ahead and say hello? He's the coach of the main Red Cloitzers.
Yo, what's going on, guys? You got Tone here. You know what the deal is. Coach of your main Red Cloitzers. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, never mind. It's a pleasure to have you. Of course, we'll get it. Especially since we got all the kinks worked out. With the mic and stuff. If you guys are excited to hear from Tone, make sure you go ahead and join the NPL fan Discord. There'll be a link in the description where you can hook up with Tone and be a main Red Cloitzer along with your other favorite minors and majors coaches. So I just want to say, dude, how you feeling about this season? I know you got a spicy draft here with Scolipede. You want to go ahead and talk about your confidence going into this season, and let's just start there.
Confidence wise, after what happened season 3, it was kind of like disappointing because I had like Manaphy, I had Zardex, I had T-Tar, I had Sand, all these mons that I didn't really get the chance to like use to their full potential. And now this season, it might seem like it's more like a try-hard team. It may seem like it's top heavy and all this stuff. I like drafted all these crazy mons, and then I just have like stuff bringing up the back for like no reason. But I feel like the confidence, I think it's up there. I don't want to be like overconfident. I don't want to feel like I'm cocky or anything. I just felt like with this season compared to last season, I just wanted to like try to like build on any sort of momentum from season 3. I got to use my own team. I had my own strategy, and it didn't really pan out the way I wanted it to. So I decided to step back, formulate some sort of draft plan, and then lo and behold, this is pretty much what I got once everything was said and done. So all in all, I feel pretty confident, but a team is only as good as a person that's using it, and hopefully in my case, hopefully it'll bring me a title, or maybe at the most part a playoff spot. So that's going to be pretty much it for me in terms of my objective, just trying to make the playoffs, do well in this upcoming season. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's always the goal with NPL Miners, is just to get promoted to NPL Majors. Do you think you have a team that could help you do that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, do you think you have a team that can help you achieve promotion to NPL Majors?
I feel like I do, but at the same time, I feel as though everyone equally feels the same way in the league. So I can't really say like, oh, my team is better than someone else's team, or vice versa.
That's what they do on power rankings. Am I right?
I saw the rankings. I was actually pretty shocked, but I wasn't really like trying to like be at the top of the rankings, because it just puts that much more pressure on you. Like, oh man, you're so high up now, you have to be in the situation where if you're losing with such a team you drafted, then it's like it speaks to you with a ballot. I don't really want to get into that whole mindset of oh, I have to win to make sure that I stay in the positive graces of the analysis. I don't want to have that mentality over my head. So when it came to this team in particular, I kind of felt like, okay, this has that nice little balance of offense and defense. It's not too bulky, it's not too fast. I feel as though it has that combination. So the fact that I was even at the top, let alone number 1, it shows the confidence, but it's mainly just me executing on my team building and all that stuff. It's up to me to make sure that the team goes well, my season goes well, and hopefully from there playoffs and promotion will follow. So yeah, that's going to be it for me.
Yeah, that's a really good mindset. Let's talk about your Z move Pokemon of choice, which is Scolipede. A lot has happened this season. I know Baton Pass has been nerfed, so you're not allowed to pass speed plus another stat and stuff like that. Right. What made you decide to select Scolipede for your Z Crystal user?
Well, in terms of Scolipede, I really had a bunch of options. I was kind of like on the fence between Scolipede. I was kind of on the fence about Circuitry, but then I remember that there was no such thing as status Z move, so no Z Electric Terrain, no Z Hypnosis. So it really boiled down to what can be sort of like a late game sweeper and still benefit from having that Z Crystal held, and then immediately the first thing that came to my mind was Scolipede, because you can't really pass up something with not only the ability to boost its speed and outspeed stuff like choice scarf users and all that stuff, but the coverage that Scolipede gets to back up the ability to run Z Crystal with Aqua Tail, Superpower, Earthquake, even running Savage Spin Out or Acid Downpour just for that added boost of power to its stab is really, really helpful in terms of breaking down some stuff for the rest of my team. So I felt as though that Scolipede made the most sense, not because it's just the fastest mon on my team, but it made the most sense in terms of its ability to not only be a revenge killer, but it also gets access to stuff like Swords Dance, so it can really be potent under the right circumstances. So it really just boiled down to what benefited more from holding the Z Crystal. And I could have went Latios because it equally has that same factor of being fast, having move coverage and all that stuff. But ultimately it was just down to having something that lured in common stuff like Scolipede can lure in like physical ground types like Hippowdon and smack it with a Hydro Vortex, especially if it gets a +2 with like Sword Stance Protect and then Aqua Tail and some other stuff like that. So I just wanted to have something with that versatility, that extra coverage and all that stuff. So it really just boiled down to Scolipede because it really just fit the bill for me, and the rest of my team just sort of follow it from there. So yeah, that was pretty much my thought process into Scolipede being my Zmon.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good choice. I really like what you did with your Scolipede right there. Let's actually move on to the fat shit that's on your team. You got a lot of it. You have Mega Venusaur, Clefable, Vaporeon. Why don't you go ahead and talk about the fat shit and what was your thought process when drafting shit like that?
Well, if anyone who knows me from previous league experience, they have the tendency of saying that I love to draft extremely fat and annoying stuff, and you'll never see me be the guy that drafts stuff like Cresselia because I feel as though it's too passive. That's just me. But in terms of like bulkier mons in general that doesn't really like just stay there and be like extremely passive, I've had experience with Clefable before in draft league format in another league. I've used Mega Venusaur to some good extent, and then Vaporeon was just kind of like the glue that sort of put the team together in terms of having that defensive core to fall back on. And the one thing I also want to point out is just having that it's one thing to have a defensive core in mind in terms of draft league format, but the fact that all three of them have access to reliable recovery with Clefable, Soft Boiled, Vaporeon, Wish, and the Mega Venusaur Synthesis, and also having thick fat to back it up, it wasn't really something that was I was actually planning on doing at first, but the way the team structured as the draft went along, it really just came down to, okay, I got Clefable round 1, what do I want to pair it up with? And then I'm looking down the draft and I see all these potential combinations coming into my head, and then next thing you know, we slap one Vaporeon there for the added Wish support, and then getting Mega Venusaur towards the end just sort of like solidified the core and the team as a whole, so I have that fallback option. So it was really just a sense of drafting something that can take hits at the same time, have that recovery, and being able to retaliate back just as hard. So I feel as though those three together complement each other extremely, extremely well, especially considering that I don't necessarily have to run special attack investment on any of them just to do some decent damage. I can also be like a sort of like a stall, like semi-stall sort of stuff, but I have offensive mons to back up the defensive core I built. So it was all about just finding that trying to find that synergy. So basically that's what it just came down to with those three mons in particular. Not saying that those three were what I intended for it, but the way the team came together, I couldn't really pass up that sort of combination. So hence the core you see before you of annoying, fat, prominent shit.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're gonna have one more question before we move on to Twitter, and it's a very important one. I think one of the most important Pokemon on your roster is the Lopunny. Are we gonna see Switcheroo Lop this season?
I can say that we will be seeing some Switcheroo antics from Lopunny. Some people may seem as though it's just there because I had just 1 point and I had to have something to put there. I didn't necessarily have to do it, but Lopunny is a very good disruptor, and having utility like Baton Pass in its own right, so I can do like Cosmic Pass itself, gets access to Encore, a Healing Wish user, crippling stuff with Switcheroo. It wasn't really something that I needed, but at the same time, having that sort of disruptor among the balance I attempted to do with the team, kind of like, it's not really something that solidified the team, but having that concept of being an annoyance on the top of the fact that you have to prepare for the rest of my team is just something that you can't like simply overlook, because next thing you know, if you see I have Lopunny in front of you and you're like, oh crap, I didn't prepare, what's he gonna try to switch through to one of my Pokemon? And it starts playing the mind games from there. So I probably will be seeing Lopunny probably once or twice, maybe a third time, who knows. It just depends on the matchup, and if I really feel like going out there on a limb with any crazy sets that may pop into my head. So anything is possible. Let's leave it at that.
All right. Well, we're going to be cheering for you and the Lopunny and the rest of the main red closers. We're actually going to move right into some Twitter questions, so I hope you have a little bit of time. We're going to...
Sure.
Oh, snap. I literally just closed it. Deebs wants to know, how many leagues have you been in at one particular time?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. It's not really tough. I think the most I kind of want to say is 5. Like, I kind of want to lean towards 7, but that's kind of overkill even for me. So I'm just going to leave it at 5. I try to do it at one time, and then I just got burned out, like, mentally trying to prepare for one team.
After 7?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Well, it's not really... I want to say 7, but I want to leave it at 5, because anything more than that, I kind of like... I think there was, like, one instance where I prepared for one team, I accidentally brought the wrong team to a league battle, and I still ended up... they let me redo it over, and I didn't want to be, like, accused of cheating because I had all this extra time, like, oh, crap, I brought the wrong team. The next thing you know, I still won, and then... it kind of got crazy from there. So I'm just going to say 5, because most of the leagues at that time were sort of ending and other ones were just starting to pick up. So
yeah, it seems to be the trend these days.
All like right. You always want to try to fit in that one extra before you start to burn yourself out. And then
you end up burning yourself out.
That's pretty much the long and short of it.
Yeah. Heracross Knight wants to know, what is the total number of times you've drafted Manaphy in a league?
Oh god.
So apparently everyone knows you as the Manaphy guy. Where's Clawitzer? I don't see any Clawitzer questions.
Yeah, until they see me draft Clawitzer, they'll never ask about Clawitzer. But in terms of Manaphy, I think I've drafted Manaphy at least 3 times. I think I had Manaphy in the very first, and then I franchised it the following season, and then when I joined another league, I picked up Manaphy again for the 3rd time, and it was just that sort of security blanket for me. So I think it's actually, let's say actually 4 times that I drafted Manaphy, because I couldn't really pass up Manaphy from Gen 6 even to Gen 7 with the Z mods and everything. So let's say 4. I want to say 4 times just because it's just that good for me, at least.
That's good. All right, and our last question is going to come from Mega Sablo. He's asking, what is your dream in the NPL?
I'm sorry, what was that?
He's asking, what is your dream in the NPL?
Well, obviously, the dream would be to make the playoffs and then hopefully win a title and then get promoted to the majors, maybe season 8 or down the road. But basically, the dream is, like I said, just to like do well, get to the playoffs, and hopefully win that championship that's been eluding me for the past year or so. So just going to keep it short and simple with that sort of answer. So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good answer. Well, we here at the NPL are going to wish you the best of luck. I hope you have a simply fantastic run to the playoffs. And, you know, a lot of the people back at home who are watching, who are interested in joining you, can check you out in the NPL fan Discord along with you and all the other NPL coaches. Do you have any last words for the people at home?
I want to say something retarded, but at the same time, I want to hold off just for now. Until I actually draft Clawitzer in draft league format, I can't really say what I'm going to say.
All right, well, we're going to hold you. Oh, go for it. If
I want to say it, but I think it's only because if you know me for my obsession with Clawitzer, I always say stuff like, get that bitch a cannon, bitches love cannons, and now you know why. But anyway, whether it be Clawitzer or Toucannon for that matter, you'll be hopefully seeing one of those two in my draft, whether it be in this, like, next season or whatever, but just gonna leave it at that for now.
All right, dude. Well, thank you so much for your time here. It was a pleasure to interview you. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Make sure you check out Tone and all the other coaches down below. This is me, it's Gregulator60, and Tone signing off. So have a simply fantastic night.